In Matthew chapter 10, let's begin in verse 24. Jesus is telling his learning disciples, a learning disciple, or a student, is not over the teacher, neither a slave over his Lord. It is sufficient for the learning disciple in order that he may become as his teacher, and the slave as his Lord. If they call the housemaster Beelzebul, how much rather his house people? Therefore, you must not be caused to fear them, for nothing is having been covered which will not be revealed, and hidden which will not be made known. That which I say to you in darkness, you must say in the light, and that which into the ear you hear, you must hurl forth on the roofs. And you must not be fearful from the ones killing the body, but not being able to kill the soul. But you must rather be fearful towards the one, that's referring to God, being able both soul and body to kill in Gehenna. So Jesus continues and says, a learning disciple or a student is not over, above, or superior to his teacher, his instructor. Neither is a slave or bondservant over his Lord, his master. It is sufficient for the learning disciples. It is adequate, or the student is satisfied with enough for the purpose and result that he would become in comparison to his teacher. And it is sufficient for the slave in order that he would become in comparison to his Lord or master. If people call the name Beelzebul, that is one of the contemptuous or derogatory names made to refer to the devil, Satan, or ruling high-ranking evil spirit under Satan's command, down on the housemaster, or the sovereign lord or master in the house, how much rather, it's a lot more so, more and more, they will call Beelzebul down on the housemaster's house people, or those under his rule, under the housemaster's rule. So Jesus was likening himself to the housemaster and his apostles to his house people, or those who are within his household. Therefore, you should not let yourselves be caused to fear or be afraid of them. In truth, nothing or not one thing is in the state of being covered and continuing covered or concealed, which will not be revealed uncovered, as removing a veil and thus exposed. And nothing is hidden, concealed away from perception or cryptic, which will not be made known. Caused to be personally known with a truly active and relative knowing of the details involved. The thing I say to you are the collection of words that I lay before you in the darkness, in other words, privately, not seen by others, you must say in the light, where all can see openly. And the thing that goes into your ear so that you hear what it says, either by myself or by God, you must hurl forth on the rooftops, proclaim on the housetops, or the flat roofs where people can hear if they're on their housetop, or maybe they're on the streets below, they would hear what you're saying. And the flat roofs of houses were usual place where people would proclaim information to the neighbors or those on the street below during that time. Jesus continues and says, and you must not be fearful. Don't be afraid or in terror away from the ones killing the physical body, but not able, those who do not have the able power, the capability to kill the soul. That's the life of your physical body that's evidenced by breathing. Here referring to your vitality, your character, your disposition as you carry out God's will during your life. But you must rather, more and more be fearful towards the one, God, presently and actively being able to kill both soul and body in Gehenna. And you can refer to my explanation about that word in Matthew chapter 5, verses 22, 29, and 30. And of course, to be fearful towards God refers to having fright or being afraid at the consequences of the wrong performance of your activities, the consequences of the performance of any wrong behavior. People should manifest the awe and respect that is rightfully due and ought to be shown towards God. And those who believe what God says, which is also what Jesus says, will live eternally at a future time, even though now other people may kill you. You might physically die, but those who refuse to believe God's words will permanently die at a future time, even though at the present time they may be the ones who kill you, and they may stay living at the moment. However, let us look forward to the future, our hope, when God will raise all those who have died and who have believed on Him to be resurrected with our Lord Jesus Christ.